Mr. Second Passport. Today we're going to cover super interesting topic for all of us, right? How to find assets that provide us a passive cash flow or income stream, right, without having to work too hard. And it's totally different here in South America or Ecuador, specifically where I live, compared to, say, in North America. Now here's this beautiful quadrant that the Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad provide us, the book, great book. And it's basically a breakdown, right, in case you don't know it, of the income and expenses and assets of liabilities that we all have. And the middle class basically has a job that provides an income, and then the money goes out to expenses, or maybe they buy things that they think are assets but really are liabilities because, like credit card debt or car loans or a mortgage where they live, it's a liability because it's an expense for them and the money continues to flow out, right? But obviously the wealthy and how all of us aspire to be is acquire assets that put money in our pocket and often is the case when you have assets providing your income instead of a job, you can now get that money tax-free, right? Which he goes further into in his several books. So I won't go too far into that today. But that's the idea: is getting assets that provide an income for us and put money in our pocket. For instance, in the U.S., as you probably know, the ways that most people get or chase cash flow per se is through real estate, right? Real estate. It makes total sense, right? Money is cheap and plentiful, and they will lend it to you at fixed rates for long periods of time. And now, when you can get a loan at 3-4% and the inflation's running hot like it is now, it's 6-7. That's 3 points less than inflation, so it's practically free money. But down here in Ecuador, it's not, and it's not a way that I suggest getting that passive income stream, because of the local laws, right? If you have to evict someone in Ecuador, if they just stop paying, it's a real pain. It can be months and months, and it's just a problem. It's not like it is in the U.S. Stocks and bonds are a great option for North Americans. Bonds don't pay much, but they do pay nonetheless, and it is a passive income that you really don't have to work for, right? But it's not really an option here in South America, buying bonds, because they're just so dang risky. Almost no one buys them, and the government could default at any moment. Now down here in Ecuador, here in South America, the options are totally different for passive income. The first being actually bank deposits. Just deposit your money in a bank, in a CD, certificate of deposit, and you can make easy 9% a year, right, without doing anything. So that's one of the main ways that Ecuadorians and expats living in Ecuador alike generate a passive income, and I do as well. The second way that Ecuadorians make cash flow is businesses, actually, because in the difference of the U.S., where labor costs are very expensive, down here labor is very inexpensive. So you can put a business without having to be there, and that can kick off, if you manage it right, a certain income that is passive. And the third one might surprise you: cars. Are these rent-a-car companies in Ecuador, specifically in the bigger cities, that will pay you to leave a car with them. And a lot of Ecuadorians take advantage of it, and I know several people as well in the rent-a-car business down here in Ecuador, and it's an interesting way to generate passive income. For instance, this guy that I'll leave in the description below, that I just briefly spoke to, I have no affiliation with them, has a rent-a-car company in Guayaquil who is currently looking for cars to be left with his agency, and you sign a contract with them for 6 months or a year, and you have to leave the car for that time, and he pays you monthly a fixed amount, and then he's free to rent the car as he pleases and use it. And for instance, he said a smaller car like a Chevrolet Spark he'd pay $400 a month for, fixed to the owner. And he said for a larger car, this is what he primarily looks for, is the larger SUVs like the Kia Sportage, which is in really high demand here, which is what most people want to rent. And for instance, you could get one that's just a year old. Here, this is a 2021 Kia Sportage available here in Ecuador with just 17,800 kilometers for $24,000. New ones, new Kia Sportage is around $30,000, and you could probably knock $1,000 or $2,000 off this asking price as well. Now, this is he said he'd pay $1,000 a month for a Kia Sportage. Now, it has to be new or almost new, right? Something like this in order for it to work for a rental agency. At $900 a month, right? Say you knocked $1,000 off this asking price at $23,000, you're looking at close to $12,000 a month of income. You would have to pay about $600 a year in insurance. So you're looking at just a shade over 2 years to getting your money back. So you're looking at almost a 50% return. Used cars down here do not depreciate as quickly as they do in North America. As the mileage piles on, they still are able to retain their value. So it's an insured asset. It's a hard asset that's going to fight inflation for you, that doesn't depreciate that hard. And it's an interesting way to make a passive income without having to do really much anything down here in Ecuador. And it's a way that a lot of Ecuadorians take advantage of. I'm Mr. Second Passport. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button below, and ring the bell to be notified of more videos just like this. Take care.